Alrighty, hey everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day out there today. Bitcoin is still trying to survive right now. We're barely below $88,000 and we're trying to break out above it this week. We'll see if we can do it or if it's something more of a dead cat bounce, but right now the technicals are not optimistic. But what I wanted to do today is talk a little bit about the Bitcoin price action, kind of where we're going. The last 48 hours have been kind of a fun little time where we've been trying to hold on, and bulls are trying to get some momentum back on the board here because we don't have much, right? After that, we're going to be talking a little bit about what's been happening with the Fed here. It looks like we are going to have a Fed rate cut happening sometime in December. That is some good news for us right now because inflation isn't going up as high as they said. Shocker. And on top of that, the jobs reports are getting worse, which is not a shocker as well, right? Now, there's been a little bit of news about who could replace Jerome Powell, and that's what we're going to be talking about a lot of for the most of the stream here. But wanted to say hello, welcome back everybody. Hope you guys are all having a good day. This should be a little bit of a longer stream because after this I got to go straight to the gym. Hey Michael, happy to see my man. Loki's over here. He's waiting for a treat, except for he got dirt on my shoulders. We just got done playing fetch out in the backyard because well, it's pouring down rain and I had to hide underneath my carport over there. But here's Loki. You can see hide him very fast. I don't know if you can see him. There you go. Yeah. I know. Yeah. You can try to bite it, yeah. But a little bit. That's all. Notice how he looks for where the other half of the treat is. He knows it's there, but he's not getting it anytime soon. So, let's get started, everybody. Not much has changed over the last few days, to be honest. I know we haven't talked about since Sunday here. It's holiday weekend. Everybody's going to have a good time here. Before we start diving into some of the day-to-day type of stuff, the momentum on the weekly charts is still bearish. If you guys are buying right now, it's because you guys are trying to see, hey, is there an opportunity to buy off of the support level here, which happens to be around 83,757-ish, and are we going to have an opportunity to bounce? The last time with the Fibonacci level, we bounced temporarily, and we went from around 99, let's say $100,000, all the way back up to 107,000 before ultimately coming all the way down here towards 80,000. So this just could be some type of dead cat bounce, but I'm not really even optimistic that we're going to have something major happen anytime soon. I think we may have a run up probably after Thanksgiving, maybe closer to like the end of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and not so much over the next few days. Only reason for that is right now we're seeing a little bit of a turnover on some of the lower time frames. I think what's probably going to happen is we're going to have to consolidate a little bit more and then just give it a few more days, and then we should have an attack that tries to push us up. Whether or not this succeeds, I'm not entirely sure. Of course, that bearish trend on the weekly charts makes me think it's going to be something short-lived like before, but I do think there's an opportunity where bulls are going to try to make a push. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be a good push or a bad push, but if I was to bet, I would say we're going to have a good push, try to go up to here towards 93,000, and then after that, we're going to be facing a little bit more, little bit more stickiness, a little bit more of that momentum pushing us down here, unfortunately. We have been having a little bit of good news coming out every now and again. All right, one of the things that we heard about today was that, if I can find it here. Yeah, Trump says few disputes left in Ukraine. Russia peace talks as Kiev reportedly backs framework. That's pretty good to see. If we do have some type of peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine, we may slowly be able to take sanctions off of Russia. And if we take sanctions off of Russia, that will help certain sectors of the American economy that wants to sell goods to Russia or get cheap goods from Russia. That'll be very good right there. Now, one of the things I was going to ask very fast is if the USA were to take away a large amount of sanctions from Russia as part of a peace deal, how would that affect the economy and which sectors? It's not going to be a massive impact because Russia's economy is kind of tiny, little tiny. But it does have an impact, and we have to talk about the impact. And hey, productivity, happy to see you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for liking the stream today, my man. We're going to be doing a little bit longer streams this week, as far as I can help it. I guess it'll really kick off next week. I've been trying to get more sleep so I don't get tired. I want to usually stream midday and then a little bit in the afternoon, but because I'm working out for like an hour and a half in the morning, like around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, by the time I get home, I just want to crash and fall asleep, and I don't crash and fall asleep. So by the time I do the streams right now, I'm not like crying tired, but I am tired. So global energy markets would react first. Russia is a top 3 global exporter of oil and natural gas. Sanctions currently restrict access to Western finance equipment in certain markets. If major sanctions loosen, the immediate effects would be oil supply is up. That means oil prices are down. I don't think they would stabilize as much as go down. And if you guys look at the oil prices right now, we've been lower than we've been in a very long time. Just look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. I want to see gas prices go down, because if gas prices go down, we may have inflation come down, right? Now, what do you mean? A year ago, the price was 305. Right now, it's 305. We haven't really seen much change here across the global stage here, or the nationwide. Nationwide, we haven't seen gas prices come down all too much. A week ago, it was 307. Yesterday, 306. I think we need to see that come down further and further and further. If you go state by state, like Washington, we're 418. A year ago, we were 399. That's because Washington increased taxes, so we're not in a good spot right now, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Overall, we seem to be doing okay, and oil prices are coming down. We may even see a complete breakdown. The issue is usually when we see these breakdowns, it's not really boding well for the economy at all. Usually when we see these larger moves down, actually you're going to see the Federal Reserve start to freak out themselves and start to lower rates, which is good news for us. But we haven't had the breakdown just yet. All right, now push this back a little bit here. Commodity metals and mining markets move big. Russia is a major exporter of palladium, nickel, aluminum, copper, uranium. If sanctions lift, metal prices fall. So again, prices fall. If prices fall, again, across the board, that's really good for us. That's really good for inflation. Now, whether or not we want to help Russia become a better economy, have a stronger economy, whatever you want to call it, we want to be better ourselves. And if we have lower inflation, that means whoever Trump replaces Jerome Powell with, they're more likely to have the ability to lower rates and convince the rest of the Fed board to cut rates as well. Now, even if Trump puts the most staunch pro-cutting person on that committee, if they can't convince everybody else to lower rates along with them, the votes are going to fail, and it's going to lead to a lot of instability across the markets, because they're not going to really understand what's happening here. All right, so in other news here, not much that I cared about besides this little bit of a Binance thing right here. Binance sued by October 7th victims' families for allegedly aiding Hamas through cryptocurrency exchange. We'll have to see if that's right. CZ isn't part of Binance anymore as far as I know, but I'll have to see. I don't know why they got a photo of him. Rush Hour 4 returns as Trump urges Paramount to revive franchise. That's not really anything to do with finance, but that's just great business. Great business. I can't wait to see if they bring that back. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Jackie Chan still does movies over in China, and they're pretty darn good. A lot better than the movies he used to do over here. Now, with the Ukraine war stuff going on, I don't think this is going to have an immediate impact. It's going to have to be when, like, we know for sure a deal is agreed to on the Russian side and the Ukrainian side, and then boom, there's something of a ceasefire announced. That's when you could see Bitcoin have a hard surge towards the upside. I'll believe it when I see it, because I don't think that both sides want to have a peace treaty. I was looking at some of the well, let me just ask this. Okay, I saw there was a peace agreement and the works with the war. Can you break it down for me? There you go. So you guys have a little bit of a clear understanding of what's going on here. So Russia would gain recognition or de facto recognition of control over regions such as Crimea, parts of Donetsk and Luhansk. Some versions would freeze the other front lines. I can't pronounce those names. The draft reportedly requires Ukraine to enshrine on its constitution that it will not seek NATO membership and to limit the size of its armed forces to 600,000 personnel. Ukraine would receive long-term security guarantees from U.S. allies, and in return, Russia would get assurances of non-aggression and formal recognition of its borders or influence. Russia could see substantial sanction relief and reintegration into global economic systems under the deal. Part of the draft touches on joint infrastructure, energy, rare earth mining projects between Russia and Ukraine and Western partners. Remember, America, we signed a rare earth mineral agreement with Ukraine. That's going to be big if there's some peace here. Provisions include prisoner hostage exchange, return of deportees, reconstruction of Ukraine, nuclear safety oversight. For example, I can't pronounce that, a nuclear power plant and reconstruction fund. So we got to give them a lot more money. That's what I don't like about this. But that could be very interesting. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people like it. At this point, I don't really care about Ukraine on a personal level. I just don't care. So if Ukraine has to suffer, so the world, so the war ends and the world kind of keeps on flowing really nicely, I'm okay with that. I'm kind of just fine with that. I know it's probably not what most people want to hear, but I just don't care about Ukraine at all. Now I'm hoping that if this deal does go through, Europe will kind of step up and do a little bit more security and making sure that Ukraine is doing well here. And even so, really arm Ukraine up to the teeth, as much as you can if you have to. I don't care, but keep the peace, no more drama. Unfortunately, Russia's a larger country and more powerful country than Ukraine. If this thing keeps on dragging on, it'll be a long time, but slowly but surely, you can bet that Russia's going to win the war. It would take a long time, but that's the way we're heading. So I just want some peace. But that is going to be overall a good boon for the overall economy, which I'm pretty excited about. And hey, Villa, happy to see my man. And hey, Productivity, my man, tell me you're on Thanksgiving. I'll probably be on Thanksgiving morning, Thanksgiving afternoon. I won't probably be on Thanksgiving night. I believe on Thanksgiving night, I'm having dinner with my grandparents, my sister, maybe my uncle comes up, his crazy ass. And then afterwards, I believe I'm heading to the cigar lounge to smoke with some friends that invited me out. So you probably won't see me in the afternoon. I will publish a video between the time of after dinner and then going over to the cigar lounge, because I believe the cigar lounge only opens up at 5 or 6 o'clock and then it's open till midnight. So I'll see, but you will see me doing some more videos. I'm trying to figure out the best way to make videos for you guys. I posted a video today earlier and I did that from my computer before I went out to the gym. But I realized that I tried to do another video in the car ride onto the gym, like I was in my car about to go into the gym. This can take 5 minutes to do a video. I made a video, but the upload speed was so slow it wasn't uploading, and I don't know why iPhones or AT&T has this issue. It just never works for me. It never works for me. But so I think I just gotta always do the stuff on my phone, or I have to record short form content. And I think because I get up to 3 minutes of short form content, like I can record for up to 3 minutes, I might as well just start doing some of that and having some conversations with you guys, which will be pretty good. Yeah, that might be the best I'll be able to do, honestly, when it comes to that type of stuff. Now, this is good news. I'm happy it's going forward. Let's see if it actually gets pushed forward, or if Russia says, oh, we know you agreed to everything we wanted to, or a lot of stuff we wanted, but we really think we need to keep this war going for a little bit longer time. Yeah. And hey, Fitz, happy to see my man. So, one of the reasons I think Bitcoin is managing to hold up right now, you're seeing us on the weekly chart hold up against support. There you go, holding, not thriving, just holding. And one of the reasons you've seen over the last few days, the Russell 2000 have this massive spike back up, the dollar index is coming back down, the SPY is coming back up, and the NASDAQ is coming back up, is because the odds of a rate cut have completely shifted. Before there were higher odds of us not having a rate cut. Now all of a sudden, now there's 84-85% chance that we're going to have a rate cut. That's really good. In the short term, that's very, very good for us. But if the economy is not doing well, right, and inflation goes up for whatever reason, tariffs, whatever, we may not have a rate cut for a while after this. And the last time this happened where we saw Bitcoin have a really nasty few months was back over here when Jerome Powell came out, back during one of the rate cuts, the FOMC meetings. He said, yeah, we're done with the rate cuts for a while. And you saw Bitcoin just come down, consolidate. Then all of a sudden, Trump was coming back into office. There was some optimism. And then once Trump came back into office, died back down because there wasn't really much changing, right? Then all of a sudden, tariffs. Scary time to be alive. Just scary time to be alive in the marketplace, right? Now, he backed off a lot of the tariffs and stuff like that. We had a frank conversation about that. And we had this nice, beautiful rally. Everything was good. Cutting rates. Everybody's super excited. Everybody can see this stuff happening forward. And then, of course, tariffs again. And then we started coming down a lot. I will say, despite all of this, I think we had a pretty good bull market. I'm not really optimistic about the bull market continuing right now, but the way that it can continue, I suppose, is if the 4-year cycle is a little bit different. If you guys don't know Benjamin Cohen, you guys should all know him by now. He always talks about the 4-year cycle, and he talks about how in midterm years, we usually see Bitcoin come down quite hard. So back in 2022, and it's not just because of midterm elections, it's more of a liquidity thing that's happening during these times. But midterm year, we're entering a midterm year in the future over here, so we haven't had it yet. Back over here, 2018, 2019, right? I should probably just say this. 18 over here. Midterm year, right? These midterm years are not that good for us traditionally. Or I believe you could just say the midterm year after the halving process. But it's not important. For me right now, I'm simply just going to wait and see what happens. I don't feel the need to just go jumping back into this market. Like I told you guys before, all I'm looking for right now is opportunities to do some day trading. And right now, I don't see the opportunities that I'm really looking for. So you can see on the daily charts, everything's bearish, but we're slowly turning bullish. And in fact, I think we did turn bullish on the RSI and the stochastic here. So this is already too choppy for me to really want to deal with. If you're looking on the daily charts right now, you're taking a long shot that we're going to bounce and go up towards like $93,000, $94,000. Your stop loss is going to be around $85,000, $84,000, and your current buy-in price is around $87,700. So it's a high risk trade. You're already seeing that right now on the 4-hour chart here. We've turned green temporarily. We're having some issues breaking above the 50. We should be able to break above the 50 over the next few hours here, next few candles. So let's say by tomorrow morning. And you should have an opportunity for Bitcoin to have something of a pop and maybe try to retest $90,000 by tomorrow. Short term, it could work out okay. Momentum is still doing okay. We haven't died back down completely just yet. Some of the oscillators have been kind of a little bit more choppy here, and that's because, again, the daily oscillators are still not all the way there as well. But usually when we have everything aligning like this, we get something of a shorter term pop. Now, is that a great pop? No, not really. What happened over this one? A small pop, but really not much, right? You're either hoping we're getting something larger like this, where we go from like 108,000 all the way up to 116,000, or we're going to be looking at something more like it goes from 105,000 all the way up to 108,000, where it's just a small move and it's a disaster because it traps you if you don't have some type of stop loss to protect yourself, and you have to move that stop loss up higher and higher and higher. Because I don't think we have massive amounts of economic data coming out over the next few days, there is an opening right now. On top of that, there was some news about who the next Federal Reserve chair could be, and we'll talk about him in a second here. But that's one of the things that just kind of concerns me right now is like, okay, I see the short-term opportunities where we get back up here to $92,000, $93,000. I see it. If you guys want to take it, awesome, go for it. We talked about it a few days ago back over here on Sunday, and not much has changed since then. We've just gone up a teeny bit. But what annoys me about this whole situation right now is the fact that because everything is choppy, these signals aren't going to be really that good. You might have to go deeper into like a 5-minute type of chart, and that's where you might see some opportunities like this one worked out, that one worked out, that one's working out, that one worked out slowly. This one worked out. This one worked out. That, you know, so you're gonna have to switch things up just a tad. And I don't like switching things up because when I do these shorter type of trades and I'm not really getting that much of a percentage increase back, that requires me to add on a lot more leverage. And I don't really want to do a lot of leverage in this current environment. This is a horrible time to be trading right now, if you ask me. So what I do, and I told you guys this already plenty of times, just wait, see how the market kind of develops. If you guys want to take a long shot, you guys can buy right now. It's at $88,000. We're $87,716. You can have a stop loss actually pretty easily right here around $86,000. So about $1,000 less than where we are right now. And then you could try to have your first target price at resistance up here around 88,800, about like a $1,000 increase. And then from there, if you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, you could see if by the end of a couple days we make our way back up here towards 91.5 to $93,000. That'd be the opportunity to sell. I'm not going to be greedy and expect us to go all the way back up here to 100,000. Nothing like that. If we do, awesome. I just feel like it'd be greedy unless you've scaled out like at 80% of your holdings and you want to see if that last little bit can make it with some type of protective stop loss there, right? So we'll see. And hey, Kashi, happy to see my man. Wait, oh, Kosh. See me, Kosh, not Kashi. All right, but the fact that we are looking like we're going to have a rate cut, that's going to be awesome. Only a 23% chance of having a rate cut in January. That's not good for us because we want to be able to say, hey, we're going to have more and more rate cuts. I think in order for Bitcoin to get a lot better, we have to have something break. And for us, if you want to see Bitcoin go higher, the stock market go higher, you're probably going to want to see some type of labor market crack. And I don't mean full-blown recession where everybody's in pain and suffering, but like something where like, whoa, unemployment just spiked up out of nowhere. What the heck was that? I'm concerned. I'm very, very concerned. Now, what'll change here is once you go back over into May, this is where Jerome Powell's tenure of Fed chair is gone. He will most likely resign from the board as well, giving Donald Trump an opportunity to replace him. There are a couple people that have been talked about right now as far as like the short list. One is Kevin Hassett, and the other one is Governor Christopher Waller. Trump right now is probably going to go with Hassett. That's what people online have been saying, the reporters have been saying, and we'll see if that's the truth. This guy right here, Waller, is already on the board. He's been asking for cuts for a minute. I think he's the person you want to have if you want to be able to convince the board, because he has the relationships in order to cut rates. This guy will be more of a talking head for Trump and also try to do the job, but it'll be a little bit more difficult for him to be less political because right now he's already on he's already the head of Donald Trump's economic council. Now right now, I gotta stop saying right now, but Besant says there's a very good chance Trump names the new Fed chair before Christmas. That's only a few weeks away from now, and apparently he's the front runner. Kevin Hassett is the front runner. Now, many of you guys have probably seen him on Fox Business, CNBC, Bloomberg. He's all over there because he's the voice of the Trump administration as far as the economics of Donald Trump's policies and if they're working or they're not. If I was Trump, I'd probably choose this guy as well because he's very loyal. He knows what he's talking about. He will flub the numbers if it means Trump looks better, that's for sure. But I think Trump is looking for more power, not less. And if he has a guy that he can talk with on his side, like imagine every time we have a rate cut or an FOMC meeting and he comes out, he'll be praising Donald Trump when everybody's watching, which will make Trump happier. Whether or not that's good policy, it's probably not, but that's probably what's going on in Donald Trump's mind right now. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go too much into what he does and stuff like that, but basically he's an American economist who has been the director of National Economic Council since 2025. He was the senior advisor and chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors from 2017 to 2019. Hassett has worked for the American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank. He was John McCain's chief economic advisor in the 2000 presidential primaries, as well as economic advisor to the 2004 campaign of George W. Bush and 2008 campaign of McCain. He was an economic advisor on Mitt Romney's 2012 presidential campaign. He's been around politics a lot. He knows politics, and Donald Trump likes him a lot. So we're gonna see what happens there. There's a lot of people inside this American Enterprise Institute. Maybe one of these days we'll have to do a video on it, but it is a pretty interesting little thing here. Of course, it's in Washington, D.C. You know, revenue is like $68 million a year. It's getting some donations. Pushed out of this and a bunch of other stuff here. All right, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to let loose. Now we can just talk and chat. Not much has changed, but I got to figure out a new system for kind of like talking with you guys, looking over different technicals and things like that. I was looking at Zcash today, and I do know Zcash is going to be fun to short eventually. That thing is not doing as hot over the last few weeks. Oh, excuse me. Let me pop this open right here. Yeah, I mean, everything's pretty much down over the last 24 hours. Solana's up a teeny bit, Dogecoin's up a little bit, but most things are down. I mean, you see a little bit, World Liberty Financial's up. That's not bad. Just not good enough. I still haven't been able to sell my Pi. I'm gonna forget about this for like 5-6 years, and if Pi ever becomes something, then I'll go through the process of pulling it out. But I've just had so much trouble getting rid of my Pi. I've given up on it right now. I know I've said that a few times, but like every time I'm thinking like, maybe let me try, it's like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. I'm like, yeah, Pi. I don't like them. Meme Core, Pepe. What's doing the best today, actually? Monad. I've heard about this token. They had a big push yesterday on X, or the day before on X, and I saw a lot of ads on my email today going over, I think it was Coinbase or Exchange, saying, hey, get your what do you call? Let's see. Trapper Sushi, Substack, Venmo, OKX. Could have swore I got a bunch of emails this morning. Oh, that's not this morning yet. Invited to BitBasil. I'm not going to BitBasil. I might have deleted it. Yeah, I probably did. BitUnix, BYDeFi, Beanbox, Combo One Merchants, whatever. But yeah, I saw this one getting pushed hard. Since it is a newer token, let's see. Oh, it's already been around for a minute. It's been around since October 10th. It's just now having a boost though. Last time I had a boost, it didn't really do anything though. And hey, Larry, happy to see my man. This one looks interesting. I just don't know if I'd want to play around with it so much. $97% off the low, so it is performing quite well. This might be something that people are going to be day trading though. The momentum swings have been okay. I mean, okay, it's not been the best, but you're looking at a little bit of resistance right now. So if it continues to break out, you have a little bit of a leeway up towards 5 cents. So you may see people actually try to buy this right now. My concern is that on the 4-hour chart, you see how we're running up here towards the 200 moving average right there. That may be a little bit of a hiccup, so keep a close eye on that one and maybe do for a little bit of a pullback here, but it could be kind of fun to try to trade into it. I think eventually it's going to break out, and then when it breaks down below this trend line down the road, this is where you're going to see things really start to get painful for it. But for now, it doesn't look that bad at all. You picked up some Doge on Friday. Doge has been interesting so far. It's been... Let's go to the monthly chart so you guys can see everything in one go. All right. There we go. Still in this little bit of an uptrend here. We've broken down like 2 months in a row. It hasn't looked that good. We've managed to hold it, and we've also managed to hold the 50-month moving average here. We haven't really delved into the 50-month that much, but the last time we broke down below it, it wasn't really a big thing. It was more of just us going from 12 cents all the way to 8 cents. Not good, but you know, that's what it was. On the weekly charts here, still managing to hold, still kind of sketchy. If we're lucky, we'll hold, have a pivot. That really requires Bitcoin to have that pivot as well, and that's what we're waiting to see if Bitcoin can consolidate here and not break down below this Fibonacci level of support. That's where I think, okay, I could justify buying up anything really, not just Dogecoin. Doing the quick reversal, not wait for it to hit the highs it did a few months ago, but just sell in the middle zone, be happy with it, take my profits, and absolutely run. That death cross is coming though. That death cross is coming. That's where I'm just not too excited because let's say Bitcoin even breaks back up. These two are just going to be massive levels of resistance that I don't want to deal with at all. I just don't want to deal with it at all. And hey, Bill Showtime, happy to see my man, and Mr. Kobayashi, happy to see you too. It's been an interesting one here. Let me see if I can pull this up though. We got COSP up 12% today, but look, see, clean breakdown, continued to fall down from there. Sure, we're seeing a little bit of a bounce, but that's not really that great. Mudang, yeah, everything is just, it's just nasty. Like, I don't know. No, I'm just happy I started selling off my tokens when I did, because this thing is, you know, if I had started holding on to it, I would have lost a lot more than just the money I already lost, right? How's the top total 3 looking right now? We've had the breakdown. Momentum is probably not so good just because of Bitcoin. Yeah, it's still looking pretty rough here. If you guys hadn't noticed, the news is talking about Bitcoin a lot because it's breaking down a lot. If I pull up CBC. That's a video. Oh, the crypto basic, interesting. Anthony Popliano explains on CNBC why Bitcoin may be close to a bottom. Let's see. A normal part of Bitcoin's cycle, he has seen 30% drops 21 times the last 10 years, with 7 of them over 50%. How much have we fallen down so far? 37%, that's not your typical 30% right there. That's 40% if we start dropping down below this next Fibonacci level though. Got GameStop for $20 yesterday as well. Do I think Monado will be the new Sol? Man, I'm always skeptical. If Bitcoin goes into a full-on bear market, and the Monad starts to fall a lot more because it's already up a lot over the last like 24, 48 hours. So making sure I don't run over Loki, of course. I think I'd probably end up buying some up. I'm going to have a lot more capital to deploy this time around because I'm not going to really be buying Ethereum this time. And Larry's talking about MicroStrategy is dangerous. It feels like it's dangerous. They've bought a lot of Bitcoin at very high prices, and I'm surprised they did it. I don't think they need to buy so much Bitcoin, but maybe that's just the way the modeling works out for them. Like let me see this very fast. At what price will Bitcoin get liquidated? If you know. I don't know if it knows. There's a number out there, but every time I've heard the numbers, it just hasn't been that great. So there's a break even of risk, but they're not de facto liquidation triggers, right? Yeah, well below the 20,000 or 30,000 range. That's still fine for them, I think. But if Bitcoin's going down, MicroStrategy is going to crash hard. That's just the way it is. It's going to crash very, very hard. I would like to buy, instead of buying Ethereum, I'll probably end up buying Tom Lee's company if it's able to survive the crypto winter here. If it's able to survive, ooh. Bear market 60 or 40? I'd probably say I'd probably be more inclined to 40 unless there's something really big that happens. You know, last time I think our bear market was a lot deeper than it needed to be, mostly because we had a lot of exchanges falling like flies. I don't think we're going to have exchanges fall like that this time. We can only hope. We can only hope, right? And hey, Bills, you can't rewind to live anymore? That might be something with YouTube. Let me see. Sometimes I can just change it. Yeah, it is auto triggered off for some reason. It's been resetting. It's been trying to have me do the automated ads on top so many times. I just don't like doing the ads. But it should work now. I don't know if it starts in the beginning or it started as soon as I clicked that thing though. So it might just be a little bit different there. But yeah, there you go. Should work out a little bit better. Why believes the market being at the bottom? Let's see. Fear and greed index is down. High risk positions were wiped out. That's true. I'm buying more Bitcoin. I'm buying more Bitcoin. God, I don't know. People just speaking weird tongues nowadays, and I guess I'm part of that group, right? IP's up, COSP is up, Quant is up, SPX is up. That's not bad right there. I also, just so you guys know, I bought some more AI stocks today. Not a lot. I'm just trying to do that thing where I do $100 every few weeks. I was going to do $100 every month, but I feel like it's just too long. So I put down a lot more money, not a lot, but more money into this for some longer term gains. Today I'm down about 71 cents, and really not that much. Not a lot is unchanged here. I haven't bought anything. Like the trades will go into effect tomorrow morning. But I bought a little bit more Big Bear, a little bit more Sound, Very, Amba, Simo, Tim. I didn't buy any more Inner Data. I didn't buy any more QBTS. I didn't buy any more KN, but I bought some more OSS. So I'm kind of moving things around a little bit. I believe one of them had earnings today. I think it was this one. Yeah, you can see the volatility involved there. It's down about 8% after hours, which is not good. Not good at all. But I'm going to buy some more. So I have a review order right here ready to go. And I'll be buying up a little bit more in the morning. Market buy, whatever price is at the morning, be buying that up right now, which will be fine. But overall, last 5 years, it's still been doing fine for me. Now it's not as high as it was up over here, you know, what, 2021, $202, but it's holding up and a lot of other companies aren't. So I'm going to keep on holding it. High risk, of course, all these are high risk. Very, I bought some more of this just because it is less than a few dollars. Like it's only like what, $5, $4. So I can actually buy more shares of it. It's up 3% today. I'm down 17% on it, but still I'm gonna double down into it a little bit more with some of the money I got. Yeah, no worries, Bill Showtime. Happy to help you out, man. Bear market 60 or 40. We will hold 69,420. I hope we can hold those levels. Do you see Nvidia lost an AI chip contract to Google? Yeah, I believe it was with Meta, wasn't it? I believe it was with Meta. I'm okay with that. I don't think Google's chips are going to be as good, but I don't think you need the highest, the best chips possible. You know, every year I think chips are going to get better and better, and I think only certain industries need the top of the line best chips possible. I could see Google buying Nvidia chips and then Google selling its own chips at the same time. You know what I mean? It's completely different. Let me push this over here very fast. See, Loki wants another treat. This is the last one though. It's the last one. There's no more. I know, that's it. That's it, bud. And hey, Hiro, I'm happy to see my man over in Japan. Oh, damn, that's nice, Ren. Hope you're having a fun time over there. I just saw a bunch of TikToks, talking about Japan today. I don't know why. Let me see if I can pull up that story here very fast, though. Nvidia says its GPUs are a generation ahead of Google's AI chips. I don't think people, like I said, I don't think people need the newest and best chips. They just really don't. Nvidia shares fell 3% after a report that Meta, one of Nvidia's key customers, could strike a deal with Google to use its Tensor processing units for its data centers. Nvidia responded in a statement on Tuesday saying it's a generation ahead of the industry. Nvidia has more than 90% of the market for AI chips with its graphics processors, analysts say, but Google's in-house chips have gotten increased attention in recent weeks as a viable alternative. Hold on a second here. You see this story. No, I want to know why someone would want Google chips over chips. There you go. Cost savings and massive scale training, right? Cost savings. TPUs are optimized for one job, giant AI models. Google Cloud bundles the chips with insane software advantages. NVIDIA GPUs are extremely expensive and often sold out. Vendor diversification. No mega corporation wants to be locked into one vendor, even NVIDIA. Better scaling for specific model types. Google wants to undercut NVIDIA to gain market share, right? And they're pricing their TPUs aggressively because they want adoption. TPUs run natively on JAX, right? Some of the fastest AI research frameworks like DeepMind JAX run best on TPUs. NVIDIA GPUs have the CUDA lock-in. CUDA is an NVIDIA secret weapon, but it's also a trap. If you're a huge company, you cannot change hardware easily. You can depend on CUDA compatibility. Switching gets harder every year. Google TPUs give companies a way out of the CUDA dependence, right? NVIDIA GPUs are the most powerful, most flexible. Google TPUs are cheaper, easier to scale, and easier to get and optimized for giant models. Right? Pretty darn good right there. But what's the price difference? I know it's all negotiated because they're doing it at scale, but still. What is that? So for the Trillium product, starting at $2.70 per chip hour on demand, with a 1-year commitment, that's what probably Meta's gonna get, $1.89 a chip hour. For TPU version FP, starting at $4.20 per chip hour on demand. The key is you're renting compute rather than buying the chip outright. NVIDIA, you're paying $25,000 to $30,000 per unit, so. Break it down simple with each side. I don't want to go too deep into all this stuff. And hey, Waldo, happy to see you, my man. It's crazy I ask AI. Man, I talked to AI in the car on the way home. I put up the little talking little button with ChatGPT works great. Yeah, basically Google's much cheaper per the hour. And if you guys remember the last time Meta got involved with all this type of stuff, when they started getting into the metaverse and they were spending way too much money, it was horrible, right? Now, it was already going to go down because of interest rates skyrocketing, because of transitory inflation, all that crap, and overspending and supply chain issues, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? But it was even worse just because they were not managing their spending correctly there. Their capex was incredibly high. We saw Meta come down about 77%. That's like a cryptocurrency at that point, right? 77%. Bitcoin went down about 78%. Right? So pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Meta doesn't want to have that happen again, of course. Meta does not want to have that happen. Right now, though, can Bitcoin stay above the 20-month moving average every time we break down below it? It's usually not a good time. Not a good time. Besides COVID, but COVID was, I guess, a special circumstance. Please let it stay above this. Otherwise, we're going down for a while. It's not going to be fun, but if you guys are looking for deals, you're going to find them. As long as you guys are looking for something respectable. I'm looking to short Zcash here in the next few weeks if we can keep on coming down. You bought a bag of Pepe and Sheeb when it was at the lows. Looks good. I sold everything before the major sell. I'm going to hold these memes and trade the rest. Trading is always a good thing to do right now. Transitory? Yeah, man. Transitory. Anyway, Tom, happy to see my man. Red Dragon, happy to see my man. Happy to see you, man. I'll be talking to Corners, I think, tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow around 3 o'clock or something like that. Hope to see you there, my man. But yeah, it's just been very interesting right now watching all of this play out. I'm not particularly happy with it. I know we have our Fibonacci levels and they've been holding up okay, but did I get rid of the Fibonacci levels? I totally did. Right? They just haven't been able to hold too well. And usually the golden zone is going to be back in here between 70,000 and 84,000. This is the zone where you want to be buying. So if we were to dip back into that, I think that's where I might start buying a little bit more for like fun trading and things like that. But ultimately, I like to buy below the 150 weekly moving average. Or if you want to try to find something very specific, a lot of times you'll see you can try to go with the 200 weekly moving average. And you can try to put all of your money right as it breaks that, and maybe it's okay. I mean, it's not bad. Every time it goes there, you can buy and you're pretty happy. That one is all the way down here at $55,000, where the 150 is at right there at $65,000. Right? $65,000. I'd rather slowly dollar cost average into it. That's my goal, because I'm not going to buy all in bulk. I just don't like doing it. I'd rather see if I can get my average down by every time there's a major crash below this, I'm going to buy heavier into that and not necessarily just once there. But that requires you watch the market like I do. Being boring like I am can be at sometimes, right? A little bit different there. But I think we're getting closer to it at least, and it's a lot closer than you would think. Last time it took months and months of falling and crashing, but that's because we had exchanges falling like flies and it was just a very rapid drop. This time, I don't think it's going to be as rapid, especially since we have some hedge funds, Wall Street, institutional investors who are also interested in Bitcoin. I think if the stock market holds up, Bitcoin should be able to hold up as well, as long as they're not like panic selling, and sometimes that can be a little bit different, just a tad, right? Let me go back over here though. I wanted to see if there was anything else that actually happened today, because I haven't seen much. Futures are kind of, nothing's happening there. Trump is pardoning turkeys. Rural Wisconsin is blocking the AI data center boom. I'll have to make a video about this. The IRS releasing guidance on Trump's tips, overtime deductions, what workers need to know. That'll be kind of interesting to talk about. Chipotle Mexican, Lennar Corp. Yeah, AMD down, Nvidia down. I'm surprised Chipotle is up so much today. I get Chipotle every now and again. It's just expensive. Let's see. $99 a year is wild. Wild. $99 a year for this. Your portfolio is now literally 90% two companies. I mean, as long as you're watching it, I don't think there's a massive problem. If the momentum is good, everything is working out well for you, there's no reason to switch out of it, especially right now with the world kind of all over the place. I believe even today, I think we missed sentiment numbers. Didn't type it in properly, but that's okay. I don't. Here you go. U.S. consumer sentiment falls short at 88.7. Yeah, so I don't know why nobody's talking about it. That's crazy. The U.S. consumer sentiment numbers have fallen below expectations, according to Mohammed El-Arian. The latest figures showed an overall index at 88.7, significantly missing consensus forecast of 93.3. That's bad, right? But everybody knows the economy is bad. Everybody knows what's going on is bad right now. Yeah, there's just so much shit going on. It's gonna take a while for everything to get better. Like, things probably won't get better as far as the economy until 2020, 2027, 2028, like towards the end of 2027. We're not in a good spot right now at all. Yeah, that'll be something to watch though. People are going to have to get raises without inflation going higher. And right now, inflation is going to get higher for a minute here. Not crazily, but I don't know whether you guys are talking about core inflation, which wasn't as bad in September, stuff like that, or a regular CPI or PPI. I don't know how many people are making 3% more than they did last year. Right? If you move jobs, which isn't happening right now because everybody's afraid of losing their job. But if you move jobs, usually you're going to get more money year over year. But if you have the same job over and over and over again, I don't know what the average raise is in America. Percent for major the USA. I didn't type that right, but that's fine. No, I want to know on average how much the middle class saw their pay increase last year. So average wage growth for private sector employees was about 3.9% year over year. That's not bad. Adjusting for inflation, real average hourly earnings grew by about 1.1% from August 24th August 2024, to August 2025. For households rather than just wages, the median U.S. household income rose by only 1.3% in 2024. If you like, I can pull the median wage growth significantly for the middle class, middle income earners, for example, making 50. So, okay, what about for the low classes? Let's see. Real averagely hour workers of all workers increased by 0.8% from September to September. The income, that's 2023 to 24. Yeah, so that's a little bit old data. Okay. Never wants to give me data as clearly when it comes to the lower classes, but I think it's just not getting the data itself, or the government doesn't care about the data as much, right? Yeah, we'll have to watch. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a day right now. It seems like the chat's died down just a little bit here. I'll be live tomorrow, and I'll be live on Thanksgiving for a little bit during the midday. It'll be a shorter stream for sure. And then Friday, we'll get back to it here, having a nice little stream, talking about the markets and seeing what happens. This week's, the volatility is not done, so just understand that, guys. We're going to continue to have a very, very volatile week, and the bears before the end of the week are going to try to push us down. I just believe there's an opportunity for the bulls to push us back above, like, you know, $92,000, and then from there, you guys can sell around there if you guys are buying right now. But I just think it's such a high risk type of trade that I personally don't want to take it. If you guys do, just have that stop loss and you guys will be perfectly fine. Day trading is kind of how I've been making my money right now, and it seems to be my bread and butter. I'm not switching that up for the world right now. So see you guys a little later, and I'm off to go put some gym clothes on and head over to the gym for another walking session to